the 7 levels of Blue Lock characters. From level 1, absolute walking crayon eaters, all the way to level 7, the pros.
Level 1. Useless animals.
Level 1 consists of the walking shoe lickers of our story. These are the characters that if you bother putting them on a team, they will be a net negative and straight up throw your elo. Some characters include Isagi's monkey teammate who missed the easy goal, Imamura, Narahara, and Team Z, and pretty much all the other no-name characters in the beginning of Season 1. Firstly, we have the actual, true worst player on Team Z, Imamura. This guy is a bum and does nothing throughout the entire season. I know damn well most of y'all don't even know his name before I said it. Throughout heaven and earth, he truly is the fraudulent one. Next up, we have Narahara. His only weapon throughout the entire show has been able to get behind people, but then he still misses, so like, why would you want him over Otoya? He's literally a Walmart broken Temu version of Otoya. So no, you would never want this bum on your team. And now we finally have to talk about him, the elephant in the room, Kira.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
This guy is a Crayola munching ball of estrogen. People think Kira was like the super prodigy because he was called the crown jewel of Japan. Bro, where is this title coming from? He straight up barely won against Isagi's dog shit high school team, which is like definitely worse than like Team Z's final form. Could any of you seriously imagine Season 1 Rin struggling at all against Isagi's high school team? No! Now, here's where all the Kira meat riders will come out saying he's gonna come back in the second Blue Lock program. Listen, if Kira comes back magically as good as Isagi and everyone else, it'll be the worst writing of all time. Because how would he get as good as them without the perfectly min-max training of Blue Lock? Also, Ego says himself in episode 2 that he's unfit to be a striker. When have we ever even seen Ego be close to wrong? Exactly. Never. And finally, I hate to break it to you Kira meat riders, but I don't even think bro makes it out of Blue Lock version 2. Why, you may ask? Well, as you know, out of the 301 members, only 2 of them can make it through. Obviously, Nagi's getting one of those spots. But to all of you Kira Glazers out there who think that last spot is for him, why do you believe that exactly? If so, why did the author go out of his way to introduce us to this mysterious, cool-looking side character? Why bother introducing him and going out of his way to mention he's a player from the Netherlands League? All of this would seemingly be useless information, unless he's gonna be in the second spot. All you Kira fans can mold all you want, but I know a good chunk of you are getting annoyed seeing a potentially new character take this monkey Kira spot as the second player to make it through. Or even funnier, imagine if this bum is the one who secretly makes it. Oh my god, the agenda pushing from these bums would be immense. Regardless though, level 1 are the shitters you would never want on your team with a 13-foot pole.
Level 2. Meh.
Level 2 are the players that aren't necessarily even bad, they just aren't that useful at the high level that we're playing at this point in the story. These players tend to only have one specific niche use. Players like Goat Guri, Tokamitsu, and pretty much any of the Japanese U20 players other than Aiku and Sendo. First off, let's talk about the Japanese U20 players. These guys blow hot ass. When seeing how good these guys were compared to the Blue Lock players, it really makes sense why Sai was not thinking Japan had anyone worthy of his passes. Isagi, Rin, Shido, all of these guys are like 16, 17, and most of the U20 members are like 18, 19, I would imagine. So these guys are a few years older, but I really, really want you to imagine the current Isagi, Rin, Batra, and everyone versus the original U20 team without Sai or Shido. Bro, it would be the hardest wash of all time. It actually, unironically, would probably be like a 13-0, not even joking. A full power Destroyer Ren plus full Metavision Isagi working together. Genuinely, who on this team stops this? No one. Yeah, these guys are straight buns. And like I said, each of them has like one little quirk, but that's all they can provide. Next up, Tokamitsu. My god, brother, what happened to you? Once upon a time, you were feared among the Blue Lock cast as rank 3, but holy, let's just be so for real, you were never even close to rank 3. First off, this guy does not have the mentality to be a striker, since he's always tweaking and schizoing out. And once again, he only has like one shitty niche use, which is the fact that he's super strong with infinite stamina. Okay, actually, after saying it out loud made me realize he realistically should be higher, but he just holds himself back. Kind of pathetic, because on paper with these weapons, he should be higher. But sadly, he's just not, bro. He's just shit. And finally, it pains my heart and soul for this one, but Igaguri. Igaguri is truly the biggest one trick I've ever seen. His one and only ability is to throw himself like a kamikaze pilot into people to foul them. Now, as much as individually he's probably like a level 1 character, we cannot deny this ability. He saved Bastard 2 separate times in that PXG game by throwing his limp dead body at Destroyer Rand, keeping them alive. That feat alone guarantees him a spot at level 2. Unfortunately, once done 1 to 2 times, they can kind of just see through it, basically turning him back to useless trash. If he could somehow develop a way to keep his ability useful always, then he would probably automatically go up to level 3. But alas, as of now, our Drippy Goat takes refuge in level 2.
Level 3. Good.
Level 3 includes just overall good, decent players. You had any of these players on your team, and on paper, they should be good additions. Players like Sendu, Kiora, and honestly, it hurts my soul, but Nanase. First off, I'll start with him. Now, there's definitely an argument for level 2, but sadly, I think he should probably be level 3 at this point. He was kind of like Rin's slave in the PXG game, able to keep up with him to the point he could support a much better player. And then on the fact that he's only improved since that point during the 2-week training break, where he probably fully mastered becoming ambidextrous across his whole body. So yes, he's probably level 3, like a good, decent player, but like he's at the bottom of level 3. Then we have players like Sendo, a step above the rest of his shit U20 team, other than IQ, being the ace of the team. Sendu is kind of just like an overall good play with nothing too special about him. He can shoot decently, plus getting a goal against Manshine in the NEL arc, and he also weirdly has some few good saves under his belt, so he's semi-decent at defense too. Overall, just like a solid, fine player. Definitely won't be much of a game changer, but you never know what he may pull out. Also, he's like Nanase, technically stronger than he was before. During his 2-week training, he went to war? I don't know if that'll help us or not, but sure, why not? I don't know, maybe he got like a killer instinct now, if anything. And then finally, a character like Kiora. I decided to put it in this tier. Kind of like Nanase, he realistically won't be much of a game changer, but he has the ability to assist other better players. Now, unlike Nanase, he does have more latent solo ability, as we get to see in episode Nagi. He can maneuver his body kind of weirdly like Nagi, but not really to the same extent. Imagine him like Temu Walmart Nagi, but with the ability to give really good passes, which obviously, as we saw in the NEL arc, is actually very helpful to have a great passer in your team. So, you know, I definitely think he's earned a spot in the good tier.
Level 4. Amazing.
Now we've finally made it to the 4th level, and the skill level is starting to exponentially increase. Now we have the amazing players. A lot of the top 23 players in Blue Lock fall into this tier. Characters like Otoya, Karasu, Kunigami, Corona, etc., etc. These are the characters that if you add to your team, they will without a doubt put work in. Karasu is an insane midfielder who controls the speed and tempo of the game. Also, at the end of the PXG game, he unlocked Metavision, making him like 100 times stronger. But he was just overshadowed as a straight striker, being in the same team as Rain and Shido. But it's kind of hard to remember at this point. But in Season 2, he was the 3rd ranked member in all of Blue Lock. Now, at this next one, as much as it pains me to say it, but Kunigami. This orange-haired monkey, this emo to the extremo fuck. As much as I hate this guy, you can't deny his raw strength and his ability to shoot with both legs. Unfortunately, he holds himself back with his horrific attitude and his inability to work well with anyone else. He could be such a valuable asset to the team if he just calmed down. Bro's like, no one knows the battles I fight in my head, and the battle is just bisexual urges for Chigiri. Otoya's also in this tier, but like, yeah, he's great and all. His only problem is, like a lot of the other characters in this tier, they kind of just get overshadowed fairly easily. In FC Barcha, he got 2 goals, but like I said before, if you put him on the same team as Isagi, Rin, Bachara, and pretty much anyone else, can't really imagine he does that much, but he'll still be a good addition to any team. Then we got great defenders like Nico, Ryu, Raichi, and then finally, as much as it pains me to say it, at the top of level 4, we have Goat Maru and Hiyori. First off, let's just start off with Goat Maru. He's a great goalie and everything, but truthfully, I don't really think I can put him in tier 5 with the likes of these characters. Although I will say, he's more on the high end of level 4. And then finally, Hiyori. If any of y'all watched my previous videos, then you know no one glazed Hiyori and pushed that agenda harder than I did. Now, I still will say, out of everyone in level 4, he's definitely the closest to level 5, but the Hiyori over Bachara agenda is fully dead. I'm a real man and can admit when I'm wrong. For anyone that called me a dumb monkey for putting Hiyori above Bachara in my other video, you know what, you were just right, bro. I wanted to believe the hype. Hiyori is one of the smartest characters in the show, top 5 dribbler in Blue Lock, best passer in Blue Lock, meta vision. Even with all these abilities, he somehow manages to do nothing in the Nigeria game. Out of the 13 players that played against Nigeria, he somehow performs the absolute worst, whilst Bachira, on the other hand, had 1 goal in 3 fucking assists. It's as if Kanashiro watched my vid and was not fucking with it, so went out of his way to make a fool of me. But regardless, you never know, Hiyori still may go nuclear later this arc, we just have to wait and see. But yeah, level 4 are the amazing players that will without a doubt put crazy work in any team that they're on.
Level 5. Close to low new gen 11.
Now guys, we have made it to some true monsters. Level 5, these are the characters that are close to being a low tier new gen 11 player, but they're just off a bit. Now you may be asking yourself like, well Toby, what's a low new gen 11 player? Well, I'll get to it in the next 2 tiers, but when reading the complete manga, you kind of have to come to the conclusion that all new gen 11 players are definitely not the same skill level. Like even both being new gen 11 players, Kaiser can't hold a candle to Loki. So, you know, that'll be the difference between the low to high new gen 11. But regardless, even before the low new gen 11 players, we have the level 5 characters. The ones almost at new gen 11 strength wise. In this tier, we have a lot of the elite Blue Lock members. Characters in this tier are like Bachira, Shido, Baro, Shigiri, Reo, Aiku, Ness, Charles. So I'll just say firstly at the bottom of level 5 we have IQ. IQ is actually a monster, bro. One of the best defensive characters in the entire show so far. We've seen like multiple times some crazy saves he'll just pull out of his ass. Plus now with Metavision there's almost nothing getting past this guy. Next is Ness. Now I know people love to hate on Ness because he was mostly an annoying twink throughout season 3, but you can't forget his raw skill. One of the best dribblers and one of the best passers in the entire story. Plus his awakening at the very end of season 3. I think he just belongs up here. We finally saw him grow some balls at the end, and I just think a more dominant, egotistical Ness could actually be kind of cracked. Now, for the 2 mid-tier characters in level 5, Chigiri and Charles. Chigiri is, I think, slightly overglazed or fairly glazed, I don't know. To me, at least, he's just like a worse Bachira. They both use their weapons to get past lots of people and make solo goals, but considering Chigiri's only weapon is speed, there's a lot less creativity to use. For example, if a player knows how to play around speed, Chigiri's cooked. In the NEL, once Hisagi unlocks Metavision, Chigiri kind of becomes much less of a threat. But we haven't really seen the same thing happen to Bachira at all. Plus, Bachira is also insane at passing. But even with all this said, Chigiri is still cracked. If you can't outbrain his raw speed, there's not really much you can even do to stop him. Although, in a 90-minute game, he cannot sprint like that forever, unlike Bachira, whose stamina doesn't really affect his dribbling ability. Next up though, in the mid tier of level 5 we have Charles. This kid's low-key cracked. In the beginning of the PXG game, he was kind of touching everyone until they adapted. One of the smartest characters with Metavision, top 5 passers in the show so far, with so much latent potential even Loki wants him as a partner, regardless of how difficult he is. I will say he's relatively hard to rank though, and in the last video I barely gave Ness the edge, but considering we're about to watch France touch Blue Lock, we'll probably get feats for Charles giving him the edge. But now, ladies and gentlemen, at the very top tier of level 5, we have the 4 closest members of Blue Lock to the new Gen 11 are Baro, Shido, Reo, and Bachira. Now, honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but at the bottom of these 4, I'm putting Baro and Shido, dude. Arguably ranked 3 and 4 in Blue Lock for the longest time. I feel both have been knocked down to 5th and 6th. I'll talk about them at the same time since they're more or less the same character. Both insane shooters who can pull miracles out of their ass when subbing them into the game. The only real issue is neither of them really excel at anything else. Neither can dribble exceptionally well, neither can pass well, neither can defend that well. I mean, no matter how much of an insane shooter you are, you'll never surpass players that can shoot and do other things. And that's where the new 3rd and 4th Blue Lock resign. Now on paper, Reo should be the 3rd best, but I'm going to put him at 4th. The ability to copy anyone in Blue Lock is insane. We saw how cracked he was last game, copying Bachira and Chigiri, scoring his own goal with no sweat at all. Keep in mind, he has literally every player in Blue Lock's physical abilities, plus Metavision, plus one of the highest soccer IQs in the show, and already being an insane defender, and an insane passer before the 2-week training arc. Reo will be top 3 by the end of this arc, trust me. But even with arguably the most cracked kit in all Blue Lock, we still haven't seen enough from him to put him higher than 4. Now, someone with, on paper, a much weaker kit, but someone who has results is my boy Bachira. I for sure slept on this guy for too long, but holy shit, yeah. After watching the Nigeria game, Bachira is the clear number 3 in Blue Lock. He was involved in every fucking goal that match. Easily the MVP. Starts off the game with a solo tear, fisting all of Nigeria. Then he assists Rayo, tearing through their team. Then assists Ren in his crazy shot. Then finally, last play of the game, somehow perfectly understands the exact pass Isagi wants and executes it to perfection, getting a third assist. Bro, what can you even do against this? Top 2 dribbler in Blue Lock between him and Destroyer Ren, but I wouldn't be mad if you put him at 1 at this point. One of the best passers in Blue Lock, and honestly, that's pretty much his entire kit. No fancy eye, no fancy power-up, literally just insane passer, insane dribbler. But the raw impact he somehow manages to get in every game just cannot be ignored at this point. So he goes at the very top of rank 5, and he is the closest member in level 5 to be considered a new Gen 11 at this point. You add any of these level 5 characters to your team, and without a doubt, they will put in generational work.
Level
Oh, you thought we were done here? No. We still have one more wildcard in level 5. Nagi Seishiro. I don't care what anyone says. When Nagi makes his inevitable comeback, he will without a doubt be near the top of level 5 or even level 6. This brother is locked the fuck in. When it came to Nagi, actual ability was never actually in the question. It was his flip-floppity ego and mental state. But now, this dude is locked. A locked-in Nagi is without a doubt near the top of Blue Lock and can carry most teams on his back. A locked-in Nagi can seemingly always make the impossible possible. I mean, we see him in the Blue Lock Side B program, and we just know he is going to be farming that shit. He is smurfing in low elo lobbies for fun. He will be moving like prime Killua in the second Hunter exam. Y'all cannot forget, Nagi is the second main character of the story. And whether you want it to happen or not, my GOAT will make a comeback to Blue Lock, and when he does, he's gonna be a fucking monster.
Level 6. Low New Gen 11.
Now, folks, we enter the tier of goated characters. These are the low-tier New Gen 11 players. Not quite as good as the top-tier New Gen 11 players, but if you add any of these guys to your team, they will, without a doubt, carry your sorry ass all the way to victory near single-handedly. And honestly, there's only 4 players in this tier. Lorenzo, Kaiser, Isagi, and Ren. Now, truthfully, this is a levels video and not a ranking every player video, so for my own sake, to not cause riots in the comment section, I will not put these 4 in any particular order. Literally, all 4 of these guys are insane in almost every aspect. Defense? Lorenzo and Ren use raw and absolute power to stop basically anyone from breaking through, while Isagi and Kaiser use disgustingly high IQ to always outsmart anyone who thinks they'll get a goal. Offense? Lorenzo is one of the best dribblers in the show. Ren in his destroy mode is also one of the best dribblers in the show. Kaiser is a relatively good dribbler, but with his meta vision and a good partner, he can outsmart nearly anyone, making his way towards the goal. And Isagi is a similar story, where his dribbling is fine, but his raw IQ and adaptability will literally always allow him to break through any defense you put in front of him. Shooting? Now, I've never seen Lorenzo shoot, but I can't imagine he's not at least semi-decent at it. And then Kaiser, Isagi, and Ren, God have mercy on your soul if you're saving a shot from any of these 3. Out of these 3, Isagi's probably the worst shooter, but don't let that fool you into thinking his shooting isn't S tier. Bro makes impossibly hard volley and direct shots look like cake. Then on top of it, he trained up his left leg to have a direct shot from either direction. Then on top of that, he adapted like Maharaga, stealing Nagi's juggling shot, making it his own as he creates the 2-gun volley. A shot where he fakes with one and shoots with the other in mid-fucking air. You think he's shooting left? He shoots right. You think he's shooting right? He shoots left. And then when you finally think you've outsmarted him, he can still just do normal shots on top of it. You literally have no fucking idea what shot he used until the moment it's too late. Is it all, you may ask? No. For the entire story, we were like, yeah, Isagi's a monster, but he still can't hit the shots like Ren or Shido hit. Bam! End of Nigeria game where he traps the ball with only seconds to spare as he literally jumps around and in mid-air hits an insane jumping volley, scoring the final goal. Who is this guy? This is not the Isagi we thought we knew. But even with all this, you still may have to try and defend goals against the Destroyer God or God's Chosen Emperor. All I can say to you is just pray to whatever God you believe in, because you're going to need divine intervention to help you here. Ren is the most accurate shooter we've seen in the entire show, with the ability to hit the most disgustingly crazy curve shots with max precision. No matter where he's standing, he probably has an open shot course. Then once he enters his destroyer mode, you're not stopping anything. Ram into him? Not a problem. Jumping over people as obstacles? Not a problem. In his destroyer state, there's almost no shot he can't make. Now, remember how I just said 4 seconds ago there's almost no shot he can't make? Well, that just leaves us with Kaiser. There truly is no shot this guy cannot make. 20 people jumping in front of you? No problem. Piss missile through everyone. Another 20 people in front of you? No problem. Once again, as we can hit the most disgustingly insane curve shots that are nearly impossible to defend against. Oh, fuck it then. We may as well just football tackle him and knock him out for good. Doesn't matter, as I'll hit an upside down bicycle bullet shot nutmeg through this bum's leg, still making it. Kaiser is the unstoppable scorer. No matter what you do, he will score, so just plan accordingly against him, getting at least 1 to 2 goals minimum. He also scored 3 goals in the U20 World Cup first match, one of them being a hat trick.
Kaiser scores a total of 3 goals against whatever team he's going against, and one of them happens to be a hat trick.
Basically, with all this yapping, what I'm saying is these 4 are monsters in their own right, and if you put any of these guys on your team, you will most likely win the majority of your matches. Pretty much the only people who can stop these guys are like the pros.
Level 7. High New Gen 11/Pro.
Now for our final tier, ladies and gentlemen, we have the pros / the high tier New Gen 11 players. So obviously the masters like Chris Prince, Noel Noah, Lavinho, but then you also have the high-end New Gen 11 players. Hugo, Sai, Bunny, Loki, etc. Now, if you want my reasoning for putting these New Gen 11 players much higher than Kaiser, Lorenzo, Isagi, etc., I'll quickly explain. Loki, first off, is probably the easiest one to explain. He's part of the World 5, and in the PXG game, he was able to no-diff Isagi and Kaiser. Then, Sai and Bunny. I don't know why people still think Sai isn't clearly above Lorenzo and Kaiser. Isagi and Rin both clearly outperformed Kaiser in the NEL arc, and Kaiser's relative to Lorenzo based on what we've seen skill-wise, but even a leveled up Isagi and Rin in the Nigeria game didn't impress Sai in the slightest. I still don't understand how people think Sai isn't much higher at the moment. Sai literally at 15 was recruited to join the best club team in the world in Real, and Kaiser only just now at 19 got an offer. What are we fucking talking about? Also, Ren still doesn't think he surpassed Sai at all, so what even is this argument? But then Bunny is also just fairly obvious. He should scale to or probably above Sai, since Sai fucking hates this guy, giving us the assumption that he's a rival of some sort, meaning he'd be relative. Plus, we see Bunny get fairly easy goals in the pro match with Lavinho, so from all this, it should be fairly obvious to anyone who read the fucking manga. There's a gap between New Gen 11s like Kaiser and Lorenzo to people like Sai, Loki, and Bunny. Now, the final New Gen 11 I put at this tier is Hugo. This one's definitely not as concrete, it's just a guess. But I'll say this, he watched Isagi and wasn't impressed at all. Meaning he definitely is at least better than Isagi, ergo he's either top of tier 6 or bottom of tier 7. Either way, he's probably better than Isagi, Rin, Lorenzo, and Kaiser based on just that one line. Now at the top of tier 7, it's kind of obvious, but you know, the masters and pros, all these guys are some of the best in the pro league. Players like Adam Blake, Chris Prince, Luna, Lavinia, Noah, Snuffy. You know, these are the players that, like, if you put them on your team and they actually try, they'll most likely farm and no-diff anyone they verse. They cannot be stopped by low-tier New Gen 11 players and can only truly be beaten by other top tier 7 pros. Overall, not really much to talk about in this tier other than these guys are currently the peak of the show. So yeah, if you enjoyed, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.